You pick it, I play it. Hi, it's McFluffy52 here, and for this week's Standard Event Saturday, we're going to be playing Llanowar Cage with the new Llanowar Gearhulk. If you're unfamiliar with Standard Events, they're located under the Events tab, and they're a way to earn gems in-game. You pay either 2,500 gold or 375 gems to enter, and you keep playing until you reach 3 losses. It's generally best to spend gold so you can save your gems to go ahead and buy the Mastery Pass. You get rewards according to the number of wins you get, and you want to try and hit 3 wins because this is roughly where you break even, because you get 200 gems in one pack, and one pack is worth 200 gems in the store, so you get roughly 400 gems of value. Your payouts though get even better if you win more. So let's briefly talk about the deck and see it in action. So this is the Llanowar Cage Brightglass Gearhulk deck. There's an existing deck built around Collector's Cage and creatures that make tokens, such as Sanguine Evangelist, Sandstorm Salvager, Overlord of the Mistmoors, Pawpatch Recruit. Get a bunch of creatures onto the battlefield so you can quickly trigger your hideaway effect on Collector's Cage and get a free spell. So that's the idea behind of that core deck that kind of just went wide really fast, and we generated a lot of value that way. Since Aether Drift in the early access event, and since then, people have been experimenting with playing Brightglass Gearhulk in this kind of deck archetype. Brightglass Gearhulk is a 4 mana 4/4 with first strike and trample. When it enters, you may search your library for up to 2 artifact, creature, and or enchantment cards with mana value 1 or less, reveal them and put them into your hand and then shuffle. So this card works really well in this deck because you can go ahead, play it out for 4. Well, it works pretty well in this deck. You can play it out for 4, and then you can grab 2 Pawpatch Recruits, and that's like 4 creatures in your hand because you can also offspring the Pawpatch Recruit. Additionally, you can throw in a bunch of fun cards that you can kind of tutor in situational, like a toolbox here. You have Dusk Reliquary, which you can use for removal. Nurturing Pixie, you can kind of bounce back your Gearhulk or other things to replay it. Shard Mage's Rescue to give hexproof. Haywire Mite to deal with artifacts and enchantments. And then I threw in Basilisk Collar because I thought it would be fun to give Brightglass Gearhulk first strike, trample, death touch, and lifelink, making it quite the unbeatable blocker or attacker in combat. So that's the deck. Let's see how we can do in some games. Okay, if you want to see any more of these standard events, there should be a link to the playlist of these videos in the description, and let me know what deck you want to see me try and play next Saturday. So anyways, opponent goes first. Do I mulligan this hand? Actually, no, this hand seems pretty good. We have the turn 1 Llanowar Elves into the turn 2 Salvager. Hopefully that's pretty good. I will tell you right now though, in my opinion, I've played a few games of this deck in ranked, and maybe it's because I was not doing my due diligence in terms of mulliganing aggressively enough. I found this deck to be kind of clunky with the Gearhulk. I feel like, yeah, the Gearhulk has a lot of potential, and this is probably one of the better decks to be playing it in. I'm still not entirely convinced that adding another set of 4-drops into this deck is going to make it better. We will find out though. Go ahead and run out the Sandstorm Salvager so we have a 3/3 blocker, and the next turn we can play the Cage and trigger it by putting a counter on either of our 1/1s. We'll have 1, 2, and 3 unique creatures with 3 different power. You go ahead and get your hideaway card. Gonna have to take a bit of life here. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have instant speed removal. In that case, maybe we should play out something else, but we'll be fine, I think. Brightglass Gearhulk, yeah, these are the hands you want to see. Hands where you curve out really fast, and then you potentially get a big free spell. Opponent, if they have removal though, can deal with this. They do not have removal, so we get Brightglass Gearhulk, and we get to draw 2 cards. This is the dream scenario. And you know, I said that I'm not quite sure Brightglass Gearhulk is great in this deck, but I'm gonna get the Basilisk Collar because I might have an unhealthy obsession with trying to put it on the Gearhulk here, but I'll just run out the Basilisk Collar. Opponent, do they have like a smite or something? Why are they holding up 2 mana? And they're holding priority, so they probably have something instant speed. Can shelter by ghosts on our Brightglass, but okay, I knew they had a combat trick, but that was not the one that I was suspected they had some kind of combat trick or instant speed removal, but that was definitely not on my radar. Looks like the opponent's some mono white Lifegain deck. This actually seems like a pretty decent card for, you know, a tricksy Lifegain deck. Petrify. We have Haywire Mite, so we can actually get rid of that. So we're fine. Opponent, unfortunately for them, stuck on 2 lands. Go ahead, get rid of the Petrify. So we can go ahead and keep partying. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and attack in with these two, see if the opponent wants to block. If they double block the Salvager, we could have Collector's Caged at instant speed, and then we can run out Sanguine Evangelist post-combat. The next turn, we're going pretty wide. We're going to have a pretty wide board. I don't have a ton of familiarity with playing these this Selesnya Collector's Cage deck, so if I make some poor decisions, please let me know what the better lines would be down below, because yeah, I spent 11 mythic wildcards to put this deck together. It was kind of a pain, but alright, is there anything to be done pre-combat? I don't think so. I think we just swing in with everything. And put a +1 counter on something at instant speed. And if nothing happens, we can just run out Gearhulk or something. Oh, I wanted to mention when I was talking about the deck, there's some people that are playing Brightglass Gearhulk in Bant colors, which is blue, green, white, and they're playing it with a Mockingbird so that you can go ahead and create a... I'll just create the flyers since I don't think the opponent has an answer to them, and it's a little bit less board committal if the opponent for some reason is running Day of Judgment. But some people are running it with Mockingbird because you can tutor up the Mockingbird and then pay 4 mana, or pay 3 into X on Mockingbird, and you get a flying Brightglass Gearhulk and tutor up even more cards. 1-0. Alright, this is the type of hand where I'm less sure if, like, do I mulligan this, because the Brightglass Gearhulk is kind of... we don't have a really aggressive start. Do we play a Pawpatch Recruit on turn 1 or turn 2? Not entirely sure. Opponent seems to be a Dimir deck. So I think we're probably going to want to offspring the Pawpatch Recruit if we can. I think I'm going to actually hold on to the Haywire Mite, because I think we want to save it for removal for if they have a Hopeless Nightmare. Run out the Basilisk Collar, pretty fear-free here. I don't think I've seen anyone play it. Well, actually, I was looking at Untap to try and understand if there were any existing Selesnya Gearhulk decks. There's not a lot of statistics available yet because the set is still pretty new. But there was 2 Brightglass Gearhulk decks listed, and one of them did have Basilisk Collar in it, though it was the lower win rate version of the 2 Brightglass Gearhulk decks. But both of them were pretty much Selesnya Cage with Gearhulk stuck inside. I want to try and make another Gearhulk deck that does not necessarily rely on the whole cage plan. That is pretty annoying. We can get a Dusk Rose Reliquary with our Gearhulk to try and remove that. We don't have many good blockers, that will figure something out. Alright, so we're gonna go into the toolbox, grab a Dusk Rose Reliquary so we can remove the Shieldred. And then, do we want to grab the Shards Mage's Rescue as some sort of protection here? Notably, you can also play Valgavoth's Lair, so you can grab a tap land, but I don't think that's particularly good. But Valgavoth's Lair is an enchantment, that is a land. I think we go Pawpatch here. I think that's the right move. Shard Mages seems kind of nice as well, but Pawpatch, we need creatures on board at the moment. If we can get this Basilisk Collar onto our Gearhulk, things get pretty fun. Hopefully our opponent is running a bunch of Go for the Throats, and the fact that this is an artifact creature is a upside. Okay. We gotta get rid of Shieldred and the creature. Kind of a hard to ask. So Dusk Rose Reliquary could sacrifice the Basilisk Collar to deal with that. Might be nice to run out so that we can block with it or have it die and gain some life. Opponent could have bounce, and then this gets really bad. But I think we run out the Pawpatch Recruit and then Dusk Rose Reliquary, and then we can sacrifice the Mite to gain some life. And opponent has more life than us. They're going to be drawing off this creature. Do we want to stop the card draw or deal with Shieldred? I feel like it's better to deal with Shieldred, but I'm not entirely certain because this card draw is going to get out of hand. We have card draw in our hand with our Gearhulk if we can resolve it. Maybe we should be playing Cavern of Souls. And that way we can name Construct their avatar to resolve these big creatures here. One had another Shieldred already, so, well, not great for us. Yeah, we're gonna have to lose some life while we're drawing cards. I mean, play this and try. Probably is gonna be, because if the opponent doesn't respond to this trigger, we can grab a Shard Mage's Rescue to protect it, and then we can grab Pawpatch maybe. All right. We hold up the Shard Mage's Rescue to give it Hexproof. The opponent can't remove it, and we can block the Shieldred and give it an additional power. So it's a 5/5 First Strike Trample. What the heck are we playing into? I feel like I haven't seen a deck like what the opponent's playing in a while. Well, that's is that just game, right? Because we take 10, we're down to 1 on our turn, and I don't think we can gain life anyway or deal with the board. So yeah, we're dead. 1 and 1. Whoa, wow, our mana is so bad. Okay, this hand is slightly better, but opponent plays a river Pyre Verge. Okay, the opponent discarding and drawing, so they might be on a monument deck, which would be cool. Oh, they're Grixis. I think Grixis is... I think ultimately if you boil it down to as many, or like you're including all the good colors, I think Grixis and a well, maybe they're just actually playing Bloodghast in a non-black deck, but I think Grixis and Jeskai have like some of the best potential in terms of Monument to Endurance decks. Do we run out the Pawpatch Recruit? I don't think so. The opponent might be playing a bit more of a controlling deck. Okay, they are actually Grixis. That's cool. And they sacrifice it. Wow. Okay. Intimidation tactics. We get to exile a card from our hand. Wish this card didn't exile. that is something that bothers me. I won't play the Overlord, I think. This gives things haste, which could be dangerous. Don't know what the opponent... Maybe the opponent is on the Marauding Mako and Scrounging Skyray deck, where you want to cycle a lot of cards or discard a lot of cards to put a bunch of counters on them. I mean, well, it's not amazing, but I don't really mind trading the Bloodghast because we're gonna need to build up a board. The Last Ride. Now that was not what I was expecting. What the heck? If I want to play out Pawpatch Recruit and the Llanowar Elves, why was it trying to auto-tapper away the other green source and leave us with one white open? We have no one drop that are white. Okay, we may have walked into a sweeper, but we will find out what happens. I think we just go ahead and attack first here. And then we play the Sanguine Evangelist, or next turn we get the Battle Cry, giving all our attacking creatures +1/+0, or whenever it attacks each other attacking creature gets that. I'm intrigued by whatever the opponent's doing. I will say, I don't... Ah, banged my elbow. I don't know if it's great, but it's intriguing. Generally, you want to avoid putting the counters on the Pawpatch Recruit, because if you put them on the Pawpatch Recruit, they get to get rid of the thing that's giving you this powerful effect, and also get rid of the counters. Opponent used double removal spells, demonstrating why Pawpatch Recruit is a nice card. Play the Sanguine Evangelist. They're down to their Last Ride actually being somewhat relevant. I don't think this card's very good in Standard, but hey, maybe I will eat my words there. I know it's, you know, Death Shadow, but Death Shadow uses fetch lands and shock lands to great effect, not okay. They can crew their Last Ride. I guess that's why they're playing this. So they have crew 2 always with their Last Ride. I mean, we can just Sheltered by Ghost the Last Ride. If we do that, do we have lethal? If the opponent doesn't have removal, yeah. 2 mana open, so it could be pretty much any relevant removal spell. But we will get the Overlord next turn, so I could target this, and if it's a no, they would be able to bargain. So if it's to torch the tower, it wouldn't matter. If it's a burst lightning, and then this is a little troll, but yeah, we're gonna get your last ride. And then I think we have lethal. GG. 2 and 1. Okay, opponent goes first. This hand looks a little rough. We don't have... We have... Our mana is a little awkward. We have a tap land, so we can't play our 1-drop on 1. I think we can mulligan here and try and find something. This seems like it should be better. We'll probably put the Reliquary away. So I don't think it's going to be useful here. Or like, it just kind of goes against the Collector's Cage plan, I think, in this hand. Oh no. Oh no. Also, if we can always grab the Dusk Reliquary back with like a Gearhulk. Pawpatch Recruit probably goes. Yep. And we top decked our Basilisk Collar. That's awkward. That is awkward. We'll play a Collector's Cage. Might as well. Probably the best one that we could grab. We could play the Collar, but could also put some counters on our elf. We need kind of a land drop. If we can get a white source off the top, that would be perfect, because we can run out the Gearhulk. Annex, that is scary, but could be worse. In response, I Collector's Cage. That is a green source. That is unfortunate for us. We will play out another Collector's Cage. See what we find. Maybe a Sheltered by Ghost would be a good option here. Okay, well, I just realized if the opponent has a Liliana, going down to 1 card in hand is probably not good. Because now we're forced to discard our Gearhulk. That may have been a misplay. I think we kind of got cooked a little bit with that bat. That Deep Cavern bat caused some problems here. They're gonna take damage for... Okay. Actually not the end of the world. Oh, it's a tap land. I'm not a fan of the Restless Prairies. I'm not gonna... I think the land is really good in this deck, but...
Something suspicious is going on.
Yeah. I said playing out that Basilisk Collar was probably a bad idea, and it turns out I was correct about that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I don't like the fact that you're playing 4 man lands in a deck that wants to be pretty aggressive, but I get that you need to have pretty good mana, so having the duels are nice, and having them is really good when you want to swing out for like big lethal, because it gives every other creature +1/+1, but I feel like maybe you play like 2. Maybe I'm wrong. Overall, I feel like the Cage deck, this video has been a lot of me saying this deck might not be good, which I feel kind of bad about, but I feel like a lot of this Cage deck, or like this Cage deck overall, ends up being kind of a like tier 2 deck. It's not bad per se, but it's very far from infallible. In response, I put counters. The collar, putting in the collar, somehow I feel like I've seen this card way more than I should for a one of. But maybe Basilisk Collar is a bad card to put in this deck as well. I may have made some changes that made this deck worse. Ah. Okay, we lose half our life. That's only slightly concerning. Do they have a demon who triggered their annex? They have another annex. Do they have a demon to go with their annexes? No? Okay. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. Also, they need to fix that. Please, 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 arena developers, change it so that you don't hear the freaking room sounds every single action. It's gonna drive me insane. Been that way for a while. Alright, well, I think we're just dead on board. Alright, we're 2 and 2. Okay, well, you go first, tap land. Shelter by Ghost, Shelter by Ghost, Mistmoors, Mistmoors. I feel like there's too many 4-drops in this deck now that you added Gearhulk, and then still hating on the tap land. That's me. Mulligan. I guess this hand's better. Get rid of a Gearhulk and hope the opponent doesn't have like a discard effect. Still, we don't have a true drop or a 1-drop. I feel like we got to be playing slightly more 1-drops. And I don't know if there's that many good 2-drops for the deck. You're going to be playing Cage on 2 a fair amount anyways, I think, is the idea. But okay, well, we can Gearhulk turn 4. Our mana did work out. Opponent on burn, or are they on some actual red aggro? Okay, they are playing red aggro. Do we get rid of that? We might actually want to. Okay, so the question is, do we go these 2 cards, play the Shelter by Ghost on the Evangelist, or the Bat or something, and the Collector's Cage to set up for next turn potentially, or do we Brightglass Gearhulk, grab some relevant cards? This matters. This is our defining match. If we lose, we're out. We can't attack, but I don't know if we care about attacking this. Well, yeah, let's do this, because I want to see if we hit something good with Collector's Cage. That could be important, especially if we just draw like a cheap creature next turn. We hit something good with Collector's Cage, so heal 5, gain 3. We can draw a untapped land, we can Gearhulk into the cage, and then we get the Overlord. I'm surprised this hand worked out. I feel like our opponent had a really slow start for being red. By really, I mean they just didn't play. They didn't play a 1-drop. Well, I can't attack in with the Evangelist, unfortunately, but when it enters, can I respond to this? Can I full control this? I wonder. Alright, this is going to be an experiment. Or was it shift? How do I do this? Control. Alright. Shift plus control gives you hold full control. So we're going to enter ETB to return this. Submit. In response to that, we put a counter on the bat. to go ahead and get our Overlord. I think that, I don't know if we even need to have full control on, but, and then we can return the Collector's Cage back to our hand with the Nurturing Pixie. Alright, I think we can turn off full control. That was cool. We did the Pixie thing. The one of fun of. Play the Collector's Cage again. Can we get anything cool for free? No. You only get one turn of cool free things, apparently. Alright, next turn we can slam the attack button, I think. If we grab an untapped land, we probably just want to play, or animate the prairie. Do we block this turn? I don't think we need to, even if they give something double strike. I don't think 3 monstrous rages would kill us. Wow, okay. Ball lightning 2. This is basically ball lightning on a vehicle that you can return from the graveyard. It's not quite ball lightning because it doesn't automatically sack itself, but you get the idea. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll just take it. What do I care? Because we're going to be doing a lot of damage. Yeah, not lethal. Don't mind it. And yeah, GG. Alright, 3 and 2. Okay, one goes first. This hand, we got a 1-drop that we can play. No 2-drop, but we are live to drawing Collector's Cage and activating it pretty easily. Okay, never mind. We'll play Llanowar Elves. We can turn 3 Brightglass Gearhulk. We'll see if it's any good against mono red. We need our Shelter by Ghosts for mono red. I feel like it's just such a back-breaking card for mono red. Or aggressive creature-based deck. It's just like wins games that you should not. Well, the elves did not make it. The big knives were not enough to fend off the lightning bolt, or strike the lightning. We will not block, I don't think. They're gonna pump the Swift Spear? Surely not. Yeah, there you go. Alright, do we play the Salvager or the Evangelist? Probably the Evangelist, because it can block and make a new creature. Gearhulk next turn, and we can grab a Basilisk Collar and a... what was that card called? They have any spell though. This with Spear annihilates the Pawpatch Recruit. They're already probably going to be pumping the Challenger, so if we do this, we can guarantee that we kill the Swift Spear. We'll hope that's sufficient. Oh wait, it doesn't really matter. I think we're pretty... oh wait, what? We can get rid of the Challenger. Sweet. Yeah, targeted removal. Not great. Into the Pawpatch. Surely we Gearhulk, right? Right? So we had Sandstorm Salvager and an Elf. And that would give us a 3/3, a 1/1, and a 1/1. But we get a first strike Rample blocker if I do this. I feel like this is an important decision here. They have a rock-based village, so whatever they grab, they could potentially haste in. The Heartfire hero, if it gets another counter, is going to go up to... so if they have like a pump spell, like a monstrous rage... actually, they already have the roll token, so it will only go to 4 toughness. So the Brightglass Gearhulk can trade with it pretty well. I think we go Gearhulk. sure this might be better to go a little bit wider, but this gives us a kind of life gain out, I think, which we want. And then we want just hard removal. Haywire Mite can jump and gain us life. Let's go that. No attacks. And then our Gearhulk. Oh, you don't have another Witchstalker Frenzy, do you? That would stink. That would stink, stink, stink. Screaming Nemesis. Okay, that is problematic, but we can gain some life still. Sir? First strike? Huh. Interesting, I guess. The plan is... Aw, man, we should have gotten the removal instead of the Haywire Mite. I didn't expect the Screaming Nemesis off the top rope. Kind of problematic. Kind of problematic. We're only going to deal 1 damage, though, to the Screaming Nemesis with the Brightglass Gearhulk, so... I think that's okay. And then we can run out... Do we just hold up the Haywire Mite and the Sacrifice effect in case they have a Monstrous Rage? Probably. So do we go aggressive? I think so. I mean, the opponent's probably going to be inclined to block. But we don't really mind. Because it's only going to take 1 damage, so yeah, they'll stop us gaining more life, but we go up to 10, so that's a pretty good place to be. I don't think we run out the elves, just in case we need to blow up a monstrous roll token while we're jumping. Can we stonewall mono red as the grand question? We will block you with this. You monstrous rage, it doesn't matter, we just sacrifice the Haywire Mite. And then we can run out the Sandstorm Salvager. We don't get to gain the life because of the silly card. Oh, okay, that's good. Gearhulk, grab the Dusk for his Reliquary, maybe a Shard Mage's Rescue. Anyways, I will go ahead, swing in. They don't want to trade. Fine. Go ahead and get the 1 damage from our bat before we sacrifice it to Dusk Rose and kill the Manifold Mouse. Or exile it. 9 life. 2 cards in their hand, 3 lands, 1 of them being a rock-based village. Can they get there? Hired Claw, that is kind of annoying, but we can make do. This Shard Mage's Rescue can be a pump spell for 1/1/1, which is cool. I think we just play out the Sandstorm Salvager and an elf and hold up the Shard Mage's Rescue, and we swing with everything. Okay, there might be a change of plans. No, there's not a change of plans. Well, we won't play the elf, we'll play the Pawpatch Recruit instead. And then we swing in with our creatures. I mean, I could hold back this creature so that if they can't ever like profitably attack, I guess, is one option. And we can play this a little slower. By just waiting until next turn to swing for lethal. Yeah, next turn we should have easy lethal. Just needs to survive a turn, so having the first strike death touch seems pretty good. Okay. I think what we do here is we play, or we just activate this. Or do we even need to activate it? It does give her a 3/3 trample. I think I just swing. I think I'm thinking about this a little bit too much here. Okay, they're gonna go down to like 0 creatures on board. But if they try and send that damage to any of my creatures, I just protect them. Oh, okay, yeah. You're just dead. Dead to first strike, or normal strike. GG. 4-2. Okay, you go first. It seems like a good hand. We do not have our verges turned on because we don't have a land with land types in our hand, so that is important to note. Our white mana is going to be coming from a brush land here. But if we can find a plains or a forest, we should be able to cast this Brightglass pretty easily. Grim Bauble? No, 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 no. Oh no, this could be Dimir Bounce, this could be Affinity, this could be Mono Black, Beseech the Mirror, or I guess it could also just be a Beseech the Mirror Reanimator deck. We'll run out the Haywire Mite. I don't think it's going to be... Actually, maybe I should have held on to it, but... Dimir? Oh gosh, no, it's Dimir Bounce. I don't like playing into this deck. This might be our third loss here. They bounce their removal spell back to their hand. And suddenly... it all went south. Alright, we just need to grab... Sanguine Evangelist is probably the best out of those. When they go to kill the Haywire Mite, we can kill the Bauble by sacrificing the Haywire Mite. They won't be able to replay it, but they have plenty of great permanents that they probably have in their hand. This is at least gets rid of one of them. I've been meaning to try out, what is that card? Pest? Pest? No, great. Okay, well, good game. I feel like this is very cooked. Alright, I'm trying to look up the card that I was thinking of. Pest Control, because it blows up all 1 mana or less non-land permanents. It's a 1 white, 1 black, and it cycles for 2, so maybe you can play it in a kind of cycling deck. That'd be fun. I don't know if it really matters if we sheltered by ghosts here. Grab the Salvager. I feel like we are in the process of trying to not die, so I don't think we attack here. Monin got a hopeless nightmare. I miss my Monument to Endurance already. I feel like Monument to Endurance might actually be the answer to Mirror Bounce. Because I've played against 2 Pixie decks when playing Monument to Endurance decks. Or actually, maybe I've played against 3, and I've won 2 out of the 3. Which was pretty fun. Probably shouldn't have gotten rid of the Sheltered, but I feel like I'm obligated to hold on to the Gearhulk. It's a good card. It draws us more cards. And I feel like we're going to be a little pinched on cards here. Dusk for his Reliquary. Only hits artifacts or creatures, so we can't do anything about the Storm Chaser's talent loop with the this town ain't big enough. Very sad, but we will have to learn how to process that. I probably shouldn't have grabbed the Basilisk Collar because there's almost like no way we get to equip it, but we do need to start moving our opponent's life total down because they have the engine online. Maybe I should have swung earlier when I had the 3/3, or when I had it last turn. If we're off by 3 this game, it's probably my fault. So I guess the answer is we don't ever really win the extended game if the opponent finds their Storm Chaser's talent and they're this down. Reliquary, I feel like this is not very good in this game. They don't need to cast their this town this turn unless they want to bounce double Hopeless Nightmare and just vaporize our hand. We could get that Sandstorm Salvager if we kept the Pawpatch Recruit. I was planning on keeping the Basilisk Collar because I have an unhealthy obsession with trying to assemble it onto the Gearhulk, but hey, it worked really well against that mono red deck that last game. Alright, maybe it's not bad, and maybe I'm not trolling. Okay, probably play this. If the opponent's going to bounce our stuff, Pawpatch Recruit is pretty good into that. They bounce a cage, we don't really mind that much, I don't think. Because it means we get to keep our creature, at least. Probably play out the collar. Collar or the cage when they make us... They put it back to our hand. They're gonna make us discard a lot, I think. But do they turn off their endless loop, or do they have another talent or town? I'm kind of curious now. We're gonna need to manage our life total, so we'll play out the Basilisk Collar. Kinda low. Get in there. If we win this game off of Basilisk Collar, maybe I'm not crazy. Surveil 2, that's a good sign. Could also be a bad sign. But I think it's a good sign that they're digging. Hopeless Nightmare. Sure, we take 2. We take 2 more in the air. We get rid of the cage, because I don't think it's going to be very useful. And do they have it this town? Oh my goodness, you just bounce both your Hopeless Nightmares and swing in and we die. If you have a town, you just win. Yes. Okay, they do not have a town, but they do have a Hopeless Nightmare. So we evade death for a turn, which is good. We can move around this Basilisk Collar, which is going to be interesting, because we can attack in with some creatures, hold back creature if we wanted to, and move the Basilisk Collar onto the creature that's going to be blocking. We could get rid of that creature, but we have lethal. If we just equipped the collar to the Gearhulk? Do we? No. They can jump block the 4/4. Golem here. I wish this was a golem. There's an argument that we should be double blocking here, but we need to gain as much life as humanly possible, so swing in for everything. They have to block the 4/4. They have 2 creatures. We go up to 5. What would kill us? They would have 2/2 or a 2/3 flyer and the 1/1 otter. A hopeless nightmare would kill us. So do we not swing in with a Pawpatch and then hold it back with the Basilisk Collar? I think that's the right move. Keeps the opponent at 1, or like they're at 2. They have more life, but I think it reduced the risk of us getting top decked to death. They have to block still, which is good. Gonna sacrifice their hopeless nightmare. We'll move the collar over. This should make it so it's harder to kill, assuming they don't find a way to get rid of the recruit. But we don't die too much in this situation, I don't think. Like, if they have a Storm Chaser's talent, that doesn't kill us. I think it's pretty much momentum breaker. No, momentum break. Oh, it was a land. GG. I think that means we have won. Yep. When it swings in, but they have no cards in hand and no ways to get cards into hand with their Storm Chaser's talent. And we're gonna eke out a win again. Basilisk Collar. I think maybe it's the truth. All right, we are 5-2. Okay, opponent goes first, and this hand seems like total buns. Okay, mulligan. This hand seems pretty good. Pretty good. I think we can Llanowar Elves into Sandstorm Salvager into Collector's Cage activate, and that seems pretty good. We probably get rid of 1 Salvager. Now we need to top deck a land if the opponent removes our elf. Youch. Okay, we got a land. Ask and you shall receive. Opponent does get our elf. That's scary. Okay, Gearhulk off the top ropes. Can we assemble? Oh my goodness. Looks like a good hand, or a good choice of Collector's Cage. Mistmoors seems like the obvious one, but I'm wondering if it would be worth to set up a Dusk Reliquary, considering we're into mono red here. But we need to hit a land drop here soon so we can really hit another land. I think we Salvager, and then next turn we can Pawpatch and then activate the Collector's Cage, but I'm concerned. Strike, and you're out. Taking 5. I don't think we're on the Collector's Cage plan anymore. Okay, Basilisk Collar. Wrong. That changes how I felt about blocking there. Because then we could have potentially assembled Basilisk Collar onto our I feel like we really ought to block, but I feel like if we do block, there's like no way we get back into this game. If we don't block, we can play the Recruit and then trigger the cage and get the big Overlord. There's like no way we trigger the cage. Try and trade for a challenger? Is that the plan here? We still die to like a rage. If we top deck a land, we can play Brightglass Gearhulk next turn and try and take over the game that way. And we just need to hope our opponent doesn't have... They had the lightning strike, so we had the block there, or we were very, very much dead. But that does a lot of damage to our board state here. Another 4-drop top deck. Ouch. We'll go ahead and play the Pawpatch Recruit. We have more jump blockers. We will not be swinging it in. I think we need to stabilize. Swift Spear, kind of annoying. Block. Block. This removes their card draw. A land and then an Overlord. Seems pretty decent here. We're dead to a shock. It's a tap land. I don't know if we should have been trading all that time there, but like at the same time, we would have died to that lightning strike if I didn't choose some sort of block. I don't know. I do not know. Opponent flexing their Manifold Mouse top deck. We are very, very dead. GG. Alright. We win 5 and 3. Let's go ahead and claim our rewards and see what we get out of our pack. 2 packs and 400 gems, so we can go ahead and run it again without worrying. Open our packs here and see what we get. It is going to be District Mascot. This is another 1-drop you could include in the Brightglass Gearhulk deck. I can tutor it up, and then you can also, it's a pretty decent 1-drop, but it deals with artifacts pretty well. And then Perilous Snare. This seems alright for affinity decks and Simulacrum Synthesizer decks because it's a 3-mana artifact. Go ahead and trigger that. Well, that is going to do it for this video. Let me know what you want to see me play in a standard event next, and let me know what you think of Selesnya Gearhulk, or Selesnya Cage Gearhulk, because I am still kind of a mixed opinion. I don't think Cage originally was a tier 1 deck, and I still don't necessarily think Gearhulk makes it into a tier 1 deck, but we definitely had some really nice games there with the Gearhulk, so maybe there is something to it. I'm unsure. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton, and have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Take care of yourself,